All right, everyone. We are about an hour away from Jacob Degrom taking the mound, the best pitcher in all of baseball. Maybe looking to bounce back, I guess, from the last start. I haven't said that in a while about him. That's pretty weird. Just coming off a series with the Yankees, dropped both of us. Bats went quiet a little bit, but we'll see what happens. We got some stuff to talk about regarding the rookie. We got some stuff to talk about given a certain battery that kind of exploded the other night. We've got stuff about some Seth Lugo stuff, some guys that maybe the Mets are interested in picking up. So we got some stuff to talk about before the game starts. So we'll see where that takes us. But other than that, welcome to Mets Weekly, presented by Empire Sports Media.
On 3-2, Bader swings and misses, strike three. He struck him out. 5 Met pitchers combined for the second no-hitter in New York Mets history.
All right. Just making sure we're good to go. All right, cool. Frank, I'll let you open up with your opening comments.
My opening comments is we were hoping to, put the Braves in rearview mirror, have a bit of a stress-free close to the season, but Mets and stress-free usually don't go hand in hand. So kind of should have expected that. But you know what? It's going to be really meaningful baseball game. So that's the first time in a while we're in a big-time pennant race. It all comes down to the division. So it's going to be every game is crucial. Every game is going to be scoreboard watching. So this is what you sign up for, right? If you want to be a good team, I mean, this is what the really good teams have to go through. It takes me back, to my time before we had these a million wild cards where, you know what, you'd have a team, they'd win 100 games, but they didn't necessarily always make the postseason. So it's bringing back, that kind of competitive aspect to the sport, which I'm always all for. So anytime we get back to the old days, I'm always in favor.
It's all about participation trophies these days, all right? That's all we're here for. Everybody's a winner in our eyes, and there's no such thing as failure. Andrew, what do you got?
You're not gonna get much out of me tonight. I'm kind of wounded right now, but yeah, tough series. But if you would have told me at the beginning of the season, the first time the Mets get swept would be almost September, I think I would have taken it. Yeah, Yankee Stadium, you would think offense would perk up, especially not going up against the Sticky Merchant or Mario in their Yankee rotation, getting their lower third. But again, it happened. It took till almost September for the Mets to get swept. Again, in Philadelphia, took 3 out of 4, and obviously the Braves, not a fun series. But you know what? Why not? Why not have some stressful? Why would you want to be the Dodgers? The Dodgers every September, it doesn't matter. They play minor leaguers. Who cares? No, I want to watch every single game. Like tonight, we playing the Rockies. You think you would be getting up to watch a Rockies game? No, you got to watch that, eyes all 100%. So, again, it's going to be fun. Unlike 2007 and 2008, even if we lose the division, we're going to make the playoffs. So, you don't got to worry about being out, half the league's missing the playoffs. The Mets won't be in it. Obviously, you want to buy. So, I still believe in them. Let's see if the bats can get warmed back up. And then after the Dodgers, it's a cupcake schedule. Take advantage of it.
All right. Well, was it a real sweep? Whatever. 2-game sweep, 3-game sweep. I'd like to see that first. Try and actually sweep us in 3 games. And that's, what I'm trash talking right now. But no, other than that, main takeaways will just from the recent games, like we said, drop 2 in the Bronx. Just coming off a 3 out of 4 insane series in Philly, which had way too many events to even describe, but we'll try to break it down as much as we can. I'll go to Frank. The recent week, so last 6 games per se, let's say that. Main takeaways, and we'll get into this stuff.
It's things that we're seeing some more of the, who are these guys? Fisher was the great story, with Philadelphia, but When Taiwan was struggling in the Yankee series, all of a sudden you see Connor Gray getting warmed up. I'm like, really? This is the guy that's going to come to the rescue and save the Mets. And we're just seeing these guys. Oh, first MLB outing since 2015. First MLB outing since 2018. First MLB outing ever for a lot of these guys. And it's just like we talked about it so much. I mean, we've played it out, but it's just like all these arms you could acquire, guys on the waiver wire. Just these guys have some form of major league experience is what I want to see. But we've just been using a lot of these guys that we never heard of. So that scares me a little bit. We just got to make sure there's no more pitching injuries, no more rain delays, things like that, just so we can start to get those healthy arms back and just have a little bit of consistency. Because what happens is that, like, you have to use these guys for so long, and then they go down, and then some other guys come up that you also never heard of. So I didn't like that we saw some more of that. They were able to, overcome it in Philadelphia due to their great bullpen and defense and everything that comes with the Phillies. They were able to overcome it. But, like you said, offensively, it is frustrating because it's not so much as the bats went to sleep as they left a lot of guys on base. I mean, they had a million opportunities. Even ninth inning, you got bases loaded. So they had plenty of opportunities to win that game. They weren't able to. I am disappointed that, like you said, we didn't see, McNeil, Nimmo, these guys hit home runs over that right field wall. I really wanted to see them kind of take advantage of that. I thought we'd see at least, Vogelbach had one, but still, I was hoping we'd see at least one cheapie from the Mets. We didn't see any. So that was a bit frustrating. But you know what? In Colorado, it's like, I want to sweep here. The Braves, they just swept the Pirates. They're a game and a half behind you. You really have – the Braves don't lose. So you got to really start sweeping some teams if you want to stay in first place, because they just keep getting closer and closer and closer, and we're not going to see them again until October. So you know what? We have to control our own destiny at this point. They just got to win really almost every game from here on out because the Braves are going to.
What are your main takeaways, Andrew Acevedo?
The whole last name we said. I'm not in trouble here, even though I am. Again, like you said, a lot of opportunities that in the first half it seemed like they would have gotten the hits. Again, and this is what happens. Look at across again. We'll even bring up to the crosstown team. They were dominating everybody. Now they've had a whole month that they've played like worse than the Brewers or Pirates. Like they've played horrific ball all of August. They get that big hit against Toronto where Benintendi is the homer. Now he looks to be hot and then takes care of us. Again, it's peaks and valleys of the season. And yes, like Frank said, you got to win every game. But to an extent, every team's not going to win every game. And this is what baseball is. You think you got a series. The Pirates swept the Dodgers both times this year. They've already swept them again this year. Anything can happen. We have the advantage. Again, after this Dodgers series, we only have 2 series left against teams above 500. We go to Milwaukee, and then obviously that Braves series, which hopefully isn't as important as it's being laid out right now. But knowing how baseball is, it's probably going to be the most important series of the year. It just happens again. When Lindor was up last night, we all had that feeling he was still going to get the hit. He missed 2. He missed that one liner down the line. That was that one pitch he missed. He hit the foul ball down the left field line, just foul. That was the opportunity. And again, teams are going to go through this. Frank's seen a lot. We made the joke. Frank's seen a lot more. I'm tired of being as pissed off as I saw all Mets Twitter is. I've given up on that. Like obviously I was pissed. I was disappointed. But like teams are going to go through this. And the Yankees are a perfect example. The Braves are a perfect example too. They sucked for 2 months. Then they got hot. And then now they're back to playing how they're supposed to be. So any team can go into a rut. Hopefully that's not the Mets now that they go in a month-long rut. I hope not. Please don't. Again, the schedule has it. But teams are going to have their bumps in the road to say, hey, we should have swept the Reds or, obviously 2 out of 3. Should have been a sweep. Should have been a sweep. We're going to play the Pirates 6 times in September. We should win all 6. We should. But knowing how the baseball gods are, we're probably going to win 4. So it's just a matter of the Braves are going to cool down. As crazy hot as they are, they're not going to win every single day continuously. They're going to hit their rut. And if that happens, the Mets need to take advantage when that happens. It's going to happen. They're going to lose 3 or 4. They're going to lose 5 or 6. Then the Mets have to win 5. Then they have to win 5 or 6 or 4 or 6. So, obviously, the lead's back down to a game and a half. We have the advantage. The Braves are going to face coming to St. Louis. Of course, Nolan Arenado's freaking wife has to go pop out a baby, so Nolan's not going to play. Of course, Braves getting another lucky break for them. But hopefully the Cardinals, who are also as hot as the Braves, can hopefully slow them down this weekend. We got the Rockies, see if we can pick up a game or 2 this weekend. And then the Dodgers coming to town. And then, again, like I've said, it's cakewalk. Take advantage of. You're the better team. You're playing. Every team you're playing, you're better than. Take advantage of.
My biggest thing I'd say with the battle we've had with the Braves all season is that I've never felt like we're walking a tightrope. I feel like there's always been a feeling of just being in the driver's seat. And it's a weird feeling because we've never really had this before. But like, I don't know. I'm very confident that this team can hold them off. And you know what? Maybe because I haven't seen them fall out of first place yet this year, but like, I don't know. I'm okay with it, especially with the September schedule that makes me feel a little bit better. Um, it's just got to be a day by day, game by game type of thing. I mean, we've talked about this so many freaking times. 162 game season. We don't know what is going to happen, and it's going to be a long grind for a team that's trying to be competitive. And that's pretty much it. To be honest, I'm happy that we're almost going into September and we're playing competitive baseball. That's already a goal that has been reached, checked off the checklist, and then you just move on from that and continue to play better. And that's literally just all you have to say. And we've talked about um, the Mets offense in the last two games against against the Yankees. Well, the main guy wasn't there. He didn't play well, and that was pretty much all I gotta say. And then that's really been the main focus of the Mets offense is if Pete Alonso hits, we're gonna hit, and he didn't hit that entire series, and he hasn't really hit recently. He's been a little bit, uh, you know, on the plateau right now. So maybe against some easier teams, some pitchers. I don't even know who they're playing right now tonight. Who is this guy? I have no idea who he is for Colorado. What's his last name? Feltner. Don't know. He'll probably dominate us, but um, maybe that'll get him kicked into gear. And he's the main guy. He's the main guy of leading the National League in runs batted in. So he's got the RBIs. He needs to be our number one guy. But really, for real, he's in the middle of that lineup, the cleanup spot, and that's he's our guy. He needs to be the main guy, and he wasn't that main guy, and we didn't have our offense in full swing.
And when you saw him breaking the bat over his knee, that told you all you need to know where he's at mentally. Because, I mean, a lot of the stuff is mental. They're throwing pitches right down the middle. He's popping it straight up. He's getting too low in the ground. I'm seeing him really on that outside pitch just get low and really reaching for it. He's got to lay off those. And it's tough for him because we know he's seen second fewest strikes in all baseball. So he has his opportunities. He knows how important these games are. He's really trying to do too much. And then defensively and on the bases, not his strong suit. Let's just say I think that for Pete Alonso, his offseason goal, take some yoga classes, work on your balance, and stop making a fool of yourself on the baseball diamond. That's what I'm looking at right now. Because if we don't get a real first baseman in here and make him a DH, I just get very afraid that in the playoffs this man's going to Lucas Duda a baseball if it's hit to him. So I just hope we could avoid that.
I'm not worried about the Lucas Duda thing, but I'm worried about just him like not getting overzealous. That's just really about him like just forgetting of how powerful he really is. He forgets how much raw power he has, and it gets into his head sometimes, and he goes through these stretches where you're like just seeing these very ugly plate appearances from him, and we all know he's going to snap out of it. We know it's going to happen. He's going to be fine. He's sustained so much success from his short major league career so far. So, I mean, I know Pete's going to be fine, but, with Braves creeping up on you, you need that offense to get going. Any other things we want to point out, and then we'll get to the topic of today's video and add Frank into the discussion because I'd love to hear this. Anything else, and also respect Connor Gray. That's another thing. But the one thing I did want to bring up is okay. Okay. The one thing that I did want to bring up was the fact that we didn't really see we haven't really seen as many bunches of defensive miscues with this team, and we saw that a lot in these two games, and it was very weird. We saw Lindor throw the ball away. We saw a little bit of, obviously Pete Alonso dropped that pop-up that kind of led to the whole chain reaction of the leading run scoring. Typical Joely luck.
He
if I
could
can
have took
say
that out
that.
second base. He didn't.
It's typical Joely luck. I'd love to say that if he could throw a strike. But I'm tethered to not say that. Anything else on these last few series, and then we'll get to the catcher. The catcher. No? Okay. Today's video, it was on James McCann, the $40 million catcher, the international sensation of eating burgers. Miscue with Max Scherzer. Pops up high for a high fastball. I guess they were trying to keep it low. Judge almost clobbers it. Was caught on the warning track with
Marte.
on Starling Marte. Starling Marte with a great catch. Whatever. Then he gave up a home run before that on a fastball. And last two starts of Scherzer's have been not his best. Jacob Degrom's last start, caught by McCann, not the best, not what you expect from Jacob Degrom. It was still good, but it wasn't Jacob Degrom. Frank, let's hear it. Let's hear the excuses. Go ahead.
Okay, well, excuse number one, Tomas Nido was activated for the Yankees series, yet they still had McCann start. I would think Max Scherzer should have the input on who starts, right?
When was he activated?
He was activated before the Yankee game.
Was he activated before the Yankee game or the second Yankee game?
I'm pretty sure it was before the first one.
All right. Well,
so there's that. That's thing number one. I would think Max Scherzer would have the say in that. I would hope he would, at least, that you would let your ace decide who the catcher is. That's one thing. And I agree, there definitely was a mistake throwing fastballs to Judge, especially considering the first outing that Scherzer had against the Yankees, he was getting with those sliders. I would hope that he would continue that approach with Aaron Judge. And I would think that the pitcher has the final say on the pitch selection. Usually that's how baseball works. The pitcher says yes or no. Scherzer is one that ultimately decided to throw the fastball. That happened. With DeGrom's slider was not there. I mean, DeGrom was throwing low and in to right-handed hitters when he's trying to go low and away. So I can't blame James McCann for Jacob DeGrom not having his slider.
Yes,
for not having control of his slider, that's McCann's
yes, the
fault.
appearance of this fat tub of lard behind the plate can definitely screw up a pitcher.
Right.
I mean, we've seen what Taijuan Walker looked like in the second half last year. So the appearance of him can make someone physically ill and screw them up. It's a psychological fact. So
again, and listen, I've liked what I've seen for Michael Perez. I think, considering our expectations, he's done a good job. So I mean, maybe DeGrom or Scherzer, they would be like, you know what, let Perez catch. I wanted Perez to catch with that right field wall. I wanted as many lefty bats in the lineup as possible. That was me. I wanted Perez to start. They didn't, because he played well in Philadelphia, but there's no other way around it. Like, James McCann has not played well. I mean, I'm not going to say that. That's pretty obvious. So I think that if they were going to get rid of him, they probably would have done it by now. I'll say what I'm more concerned with is how often Buck Showalter is having Tomas Nido bunt. That concerns me, because Tomas Nido, he's done a good job bunting. He's gotten down plenty of successful sacrifice bunts, but that tells me what Buck Showalter's confidence level is in Tomas Nido, that he has so little faith in Tomas Nido. He's like, you know what? You're just bunting. And he's not doing that with McCann, at least not yet. But that's what concerns me. I don't think you could go into a game where in your lineup, it's like, well, this guy, if there's a run on, he's going to bunt. Like, we talk about, McCann, Nido, these guys being automatic outs. That's literally an automatic out, 100%. That's a 100% automatic out. I don't like that kind of mindset. I think that, you know what, we need to have guys at least taking capable at-bats, competent at-bats. And if Francisco Alvarez continues to play well, You have to consider it. I mean, we've talked about it before, but it's very rare where the Mets are in this kind of position where they have a real chance at something. You got to try it because James McCann and Tomas are not going to be hitting anytime soon. It's not going to happen. So I think you have that one element, that one other ace up your sleeve, so to speak, with Francisco Alvarez. I would definitely be pursuing that. And if they have to DFA James McCann, then so be it. I mean, we're not going to lose sleep over it. So I can't defend him. If they want to get rid of him, I'm good with it. But I just don't think that I'm also concerned what's happening, just the whole catcher position in general. I think all of them, they definitely are cause for concern right now in this lineup.
All right. So Degrom prefers Nito.
Yes.
Right? Scherzer prefers Nito. Right?
He didn't in that last start.
He did. But he does. He's his usual catcher. Your two aces, right? A combined more than $70 million AAV-wise, right? Two of the greatest pitchers we've ever seen in this game. Possible both to future Hall of Famers. What's the point of giving $40 million to a catcher that doesn't even catch those aces in the meaningful games that you're going to put them out at?
Well, they signed James McCann before they signed Max Scherzer, so that's option number one. And
Okay.
I don't know how much they really talked to DeGrom, like, listen, we're going to sign James McCann. Would you rather throw to Tomas Nido? I don't really think that was a discussion in the whole offseason process. So, I mean, at this point now, that's revisionist, history. Hindsight is 2020. So that's where they're at right now.
Oh, of course. But what I'm saying is, what is his purpose of being here? You know what I mean? Is there any point to where you're like, okay, we can defend this guy to say, okay, he can stay on this roster and take up one of the 26 spots?
From a eye test, from the statistics standpoint, no. If there's something that he's doing behind the scenes in the dugout, maybe. But that's all speculation at this point. And you know what? I feel like if he, again, we saw what happened with Cano. Like Andrew said, if he was that terrible, and let's see, maybe September is that time where Cano got cut because of a roster situation where they had to mess with the roster numbers a little bit. If with expanded rosters, they're like, okay, in order to get Alvarez on this team, we need to DFA James McCann, then they do that. That's good. That's fine by me. So I think let's see where we're at September 1st. If he's still on the team after September 1st, then we're like, okay, well, what is the plan? I mean, Alvarez is not here because isn't it like if the guy's not here by September 1st, not eligible for the postseason? If that's the case, then we're questioning like, okay, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah. I look at, and again, hindsight's 2020 again. Damage is done, like we've always said with all these contracts. When I look at it, he's done nothing. James McCann's been terrible. He's been one of the worst at all of it at his position. Then he gets a raise to $12 million next year.
Listen, that's
for doing what? For doing what? So
again, he didn't. Nothing happened yet. When they signed the contract, they're right back.
So that's what I mean. When I look at it, I'm like, okay, third year of this
contract.
And
yeah, I mean, exactly. You know that as a guy's in his 30s, he's only going to get worse. So nobody thought that all of a sudden year 3, year 4, I mean, is your magic going to be better? That was more so where they're at salary right now. Like Andrew talked about so much. The next couple of years, the Mets have like nobody on the books. So they wanted that increased salary in those years compared to now.
There's not many catchers that I would give $12 million to at all at any age, to be honest. I'll tell you right now. And
they were desperate. There's no doubt.
Oh, yeah. They absolutely were desperate. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now, there were other options out there. Again, like I said in the video, Real Muto was not my number one option at all. I was not like, okay, he was going to get overpaid. I knew he was going to get overpaid, especially after, the season that he's had or whatever, and everything that, like, coming off of, what he's done and the stock that he's raised at the catcher position being probably the best at the time that he was signed. But like, he's still been one of the best catchers in the game since we signed James McCann. And it makes you really look at it. It also makes you look at it from picturing it in your mind of that SNY post of we're just saying. And it makes us look like idiots. It really does.
That's the first.
And listen, I'm not saying Real Muto, I'm giving him what was it, 120 million or whatever he got?
More than that. And it would have
More
been
than
even
that or
more had
whatever.
the Mets signed him because they would have been outbidding Philadelphia.
Absolutely,
and it seems like he didn't want to come here in the first place. Yeah, money talks, but again,
Yeah.
it seems like he didn't want to come here.
But like the conversation around it of comparing Real Muto to McCann, I mean, this is embarrassing. That is completely embarrassing.
New York
Like,
media.
come on now. Like, ridiculous. I understand Real Muto's had his injuries, but also McCann's had his injuries this year too. So that's the risk that you're taking at the age 30. It's just like, wasn't a bargain. I'm sorry. It wasn't a bargain at all from the beginning. No, not at all.
Who even is
Wasn't a
McCann's
bargain.
agent? That man he really
Did a hell of a job.
pretty good.
No,
Was it Andrew?
I don't admire James McCann's agent for getting. Yeah, that's what. So I don't admire James McCann's agent for the contract that he got him. I admire him for the backload that he got on that contract of $12 million, getting a raise of $40 million in his mid-30s. Incredible agent. Okay, right? We all know it wasn't Brody Van Wegenen who did that. So Alvarez isn't in the lineup again. Is he hurt?
No, they're just being
He's
weird.
missed
Didn't he
a
just
lot
hit a
of
home run
games.
yesterday?
They don't run. Yes, they've been weird with him.
It
Where
was
it's like
2
he
days
plays
ago.
again, he's off 2 days. Yeah,
The last
we're
2
being
weeks,
weird.
he's missed like a good 4 or 5, 6
Mhm.
games. Like, is he nursing an injury or something? Like, we don't know.
I mean, that would. I mean, we've seen that already on the major league level with these guys playing through injuries. So
the
I mean,
last
look at
thing I can
Vogelback.
say-
Vogelback is literally walking to first base right now. The man has no hamstring left.
Did he really
Again,
have
it's not his
any
strong
speed to
suit,
begin
but
with?
that double
Like-
play ball, it's like, man, would have been nice to have somebody that could actually
Well,
run there.
that's something you don't really need to worry about because he's not known to hit the ball on the ground that much. So it's like, whatever.
But I mean, going base to base, like when he was able to score on, was that McNeil hit or whoever hit it? Like,
he can haul ass. He can haul ass. All right, he definitely can. But it's
he
like,
could, but not right now. He can't.
Yeah.
So
at least it's not the situation with Escobar where he couldn't bat from the right side, which was his strong suit against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, we'll take from his
so,
right.
You know, we'll see what happens. Again, he's a big guy. You always have concerns about injuries with big guys. That's just something that you always see. Ergo Dellin Betances.
That's going to be what he does.
Dellin Betances as my number one for the big guy of getting hurt. That's my number one.
It's hard to pitch through any kind of injury. I mean,
pitching through any time, playing through any time of injury is stupid, which is the main reason why I've been so nervous.
And Lindor, we know, has the broken finger. Alonso's got messed up hand. Marte's groin is messed up. Like, I mean, we got a bunch of guys playing through.
I did not enjoy.
McNeil's got his finger messed up. Like,
that's the thing with McNeil. I did not like, because like he's very ticky. You know, with McNeil, he's a very ticky guy. So when something's not right, something's not right. But he's been hitting well. But like with the stitches on his thumb, or what is it, right thumb? I don't even know. But like something like that, like it's nerve-wracking, especially when you've seen him foul off a lot of pitches and just be like it's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable to watch. Oh, I freaking wish. Escobar's lucky he's a funny guy and a good guy, because I would send him on a rocket ship to hell. Andrew, I didn't let you talk that much in I didn't let you talk that much in the McCann video, and I apologize for that. And that was probably designed the right way. But what do you want to say? And I'll interrupt you. Go ahead.
Nah, I ain't got much to say about McChicken. You know, again, when he hits the game-winning homer in Game 7 of the World Series, y'all are gonna suck his dick.
He's not.
I'm gonna sit back with my Bacardi.
He won't be on the team by then.
No, he'll be the backup. No, he'll be the backup. Because Nito will get hurt again. He'll jam his finger.
The main point is that what we've seen, you have a lefty in Michael Perez. You have a righty in Tomas Nido. Both of them are going to be batting ninth. They can take over the job for the rest of the year. I'm not confident at all in James McCann. I never was. It's just like, how long until we're just going to admit that this was a mistake? Like, it's enough. It's like, I've had enough. Like, there's no redeeming quality of this guy. There really isn't. You can make all the jokes you want. Oh, 2019 All-Star, whatever. But like, when it comes down to it, am I putting this guy in a playoff game? No, not at all. Absolutely not.
Are you putting
Not
Darren Ruff in
happening.
the playoff game?
Would I give? I'm putting Darren Ruff in the playoff game because he's got experience. But what I'm saying is, but also as for speaking of Darren Ruff, I will bring up one point after that. But I'm not putting this guy in a postseason lineup. You have to, torture me, pin me down, and lock me up in a cage for like 5 hours before I consider doing that. But other than that, Darren Ruff, I understand that he's not been good, and he's here to hit lefties. Eduardo Escobar can hit lefties, so he could be the lefty platoon DH because they talked about how Brett Baty is probably going to stay. We're seeing Eduardo Escobar play shortstop today in his rehab assignment. So,
Martin,
it's possible.
Where were you last week when I needed you?
There's a reason that Tigers non-tendered McCann. Did they do that?
Yeah, then the White Sox turned him into an all-star.
I don't keep track.
I mean, Rodon also got non-tendered. Like it happens.
That is true.
Kyle Schwarber, another guy that got non-tendered.
Jock.
I'll believe it when I see it. I will say that at bat he had in Philly, quality AB, but he didn't come through. So
he was going up against a reliever. It happens.
All right. Let's get to Baty. Speaking of the rookie, homered in his first AB in the majors. Ever since then, he's been fucking terrible. He's awful. Send him down. Terrible. Bust. Garbage first round pick. But yeah, rookie struggles. All I can say is, before you guys get into it, I will say is that the struggles he's having are the struggles that I expected him to have. Like, the way he's struggling is what I expected him to struggle with. But I'll get to Baty's number one fan, Frank. Baty, so far, what are you seeing from the very highs to the very lows?
I'm seeing a lot of overswinging, leading to rolling over to the right side. When he was in AAA, he was hitting the ball the opposite field 37% of the time. Now it's down to 23%. So, and before the Yankee Stadium was actually going opposite field a little more, play was even worse. So, I do want to see him get back to what made him so likable, so appealable, was that he was going to opposite field so frequently and just kind of going with the pitch, having that mentality that so many of these med hitters have. So I want to see him continue that. It hasn't happened yet. But I think that's, like you said, it's to be expected. When you are a rookie, you're trying to be a hero, take those big swings. And when you're in Yankee Stadium, I mean, right field and same thing with Citizens Bank, like, it's very appealing. It's like it's right there, like just a little hit swing and it could go over. So I could understand that, but they're going to need him to figure it out kind of soon, because other than that, I mean, he's going to go back to the Yorman Escobar platoon if he doesn't, fully establish himself as the everyday third baseman. So it was great he got that first big time hit, but other than that, the speed has been a little bit of a concern. Him getting thrown out home plate. It could have been twice if Realmuto could catch a ball, but that definitely is not what I've liked from
I'm
Baty.
not going to take Baty out that much with the throw out at home. It was just a stupid send. Ball was hit too hard to right field,
especially in that right field.
That right field just hit way too hard. Terrible.
And Cabrera is actually better in right field than I thought. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, again, we'll see if Baty, takes Nimmo's what was it, that class he took of trying to get faster or whatever. But let's be real for a second. Baty's 6'3". What is he? 200 pounds. I mean, he's a lanky, whatever. But all I can say is that the speed is definitely not something that is really is concerning me right now. What's concerning me is the launch angle issues, because the guy cannot. There's some stretches where this guy cannot lift the ball, and it's very concerning. Andrew, you told me that this was not a problem at all. You said that this will never happen. He'll never hit a ground ball ever again. What are you seeing? Without screaming at people, without negativity. Yeah, I don't care.
Next question.
Whatever the fuck you want. Go ahead.
Next question.
What are you seeing?
I'm seeing with the same thing I saw with Julio Rodriguez, same thing I saw with Adley Rutschman.
No one cares about that guy.
I saw with Bobby Witt Jr. When you're jumping from Double-A,
That is a false statement, by the way.
They both suck. Again,
they both suck.
Piss
So
and
pick and
shit.
shit,
Man.
piss
No,
and shit.
Baty's mechanics throwing the ball is not.
No,
pretty. Him turning double plays, not pretty.
McNeil doesn't turn it
no
fast
one cares.
enough. But besides the point.
It's like
Again, we're seeing what it is. The jump from Double-A to the big leagues. It's real. And yes, Brett Baty, what? Got 32 ABs in AAA. I'm not even counting even played AAA. You got to go play ABs, cool. But yeah, obviously, you got the homer out the way. Last night, he finally got to see the opposite field single, which I was like, finally, use the other field, Brett. Good job. He's giving you majority of the times good ABs. Obviously, he had that one against Alvarado. It's like, have fun, rookie, lefty against Jose Alvarado. Go have fun, and he looked absolutely unmatched. But he has been giving you good ABs majority of the time. Stop shaking your fucking. Stop shaking your fucking.
okay. All I'm hearing is loser excuses. That's all I'm hearing. Okay.
You just did this for fucking 10
You're
minutes.
seeing. You're seeing this guy. You're seeing this guy hit on. Whoa!
I love having
Oh,
that
you're
power.
crossing
God, I
territory
love
now,
having a little bit
bitch. Hell no. No.
of power. What?
Listen,
Come on,
you
you bullshit.
bitch so much about
Come on.
Luis Guillorme hitting the ball on the ground. All right. As
Guillorme's
soon as
a
your
veteran.
favorite player hits the
There's
ball
a
on the
difference.
ground,
Guillorme's
it's just a
veteran.
rookie
He's been in the
adjusting,
big
huh?
league.
It's just a rookie adjusting to the big leagues. All right.
Well, yeah,
That's-
because Guillorme's what, 40? You know, is he Frank's age? All he does is play defense. This guy's been in the league already.
27.
Come on. But
Guillorme comes off the bench. Like the stream, that is correct.
like the string,
Please
yes,
do.
sir. Yeah.
But other than that, Baty's a bust. It's over.
yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Get J-Ram. Trade for J-Ram.
No.
Okay.
That's it.
Listen, my eventual Machado opt-out scenario is still working out well, so
Yes, and
that is still on schedule.
Then we trade
It's
Baty
all-
for Mike
it's all-
Trout.
Especially if Josh Hader continue what he's doing, Manny Machado will be a New York Met. So
If the what's it called? If I can say it. If the Padres continue to fall and they continue to falter and maybe they, leave in the first round,
We're not even
Manny
making the playoffs.
Machado opts out. Who was his favorite manager to play for? Hey, man, and then
Yeah,
Baty
he'll go to the
will be,
Braves. He's gonna
mopping
go play
floors.
shortstop
And
for Austin
that'll be it.
Braves. Yeah. Go play shortstop. Go
Um,
back to play his primary. Swanson leaves.
I don't even know what Frank did to that guy.
I banned him. So
He
He
banned him
he
for it.
blocked him.
God.
Then. He sent his ass. To
Or-
the
You
block
went
him.
you
I
went in
don't
a
know, one of
full on
the two.
trance.
Yeah.
Note to self, chat. You ever pissed off? The only one of us that's gonna block you. If you piss him off, is gonna block you. Is you. Unless you start disrespecting Brett Baty, then you will go to the shadow. Frank's got that block button ready to go.
Way to endorse freedom of speech, folks.
Yeah, this is communism. Communism. We're the kings here. You're the
Communism?
peasants. Come on.
TonyMetro. Yeah, where the fuck is that guy? I don't even know. I don't care, bro. I don't care about the Yankees. I'll tell you right now. Alvarado. Okay. Let's get to Seth Lugo for a second. Recently he's looked good. In the second half, he's actually looked like the Seth Lugo that we've needed him to be. That was probably the best I've seen him, aside from the walk. But best I've seen him the other night. Curveball looked fantastic. Pretty sure it gassed 98 as well.
Multiple times. I think
Multiple times.
Someone said multiple times. I saw the one, but
All I can say is that, do I want more arms in that bullpen to pick some guys up? Absolutely. But how big is it for Seth Lugo to be good for this team down the stretch of the season? Frank, I'll start with you. Lugo's your guy. What did you see from him? What have you seen in the second half overall?
we've seen much better command with the curveball getting over for a strike and not just totally hanging that slide over the middle. I mean, that pitch to Adam Duvall, like I have just like these images throughout my Mets history, just like these very painful moments. And every now and then, like I just see that slider that he threw Duvall that was just so terrible that it hurts every time I think about it. But he has not thrown that slider again. That's good. Velo up is always helps you, but I think the way he's locating those curveballs is better. And I think, like I've said before, I just hate that now he has like these very specific circumstances in order for him to be good. He can't pitch on back-to-back days. He can't go more than one inning. He can't come in with a runner on base because he's going to give up a ground ball for a base hit and the runner is going to score. So the Seth Lugo of old could do any of those scenarios. He came in with runners on base. He won multiple innings. That's the original Seth Lugo that did so well in 1920, all these other years. But now it's just like he's a one-inning reliever, bases empty reliever, which, I mean, listen, if you can go Lugo 7, Otto 8, Diaz 9, great. But as we know, the way the baseball schedule works out, we don't have off days for a while. You don't necessarily get to plan it out like that. And you're just kind of thrown into these scenarios. And when Lugo, he had the scoreless inning against the Yankees, and then Joely comes in and struggles, and Ottavino doesn't help him out much. Everyone was like, oh, well, why didn't Lugo pitch 2 innings? Why didn't Lugo pitch 2 innings? And it's just like we've seen that he's not as effective in that second inning. A lot of relievers aren't, So I think that's where he's at right now, age-wise, health-wise, that he's not able to do that as well as he did in the past. So I definitely am thrilled because I've said it before. If the Mets are going to have this philosophy of not picking up those arms we've talked about, somebody not named Edwin Diaz or Adam Ottavino is going to have to step up. That's the only way they can do it. It's going to have to be from within. So if Seth Lugo is going to be that guy that does step up and comes through more times than not, then that's what they need. So I hope that's the case because I root for him so much. But, we'll see. I think that there is going to come to a point, though, where, again, he's going to come around on base. They're going to need to go multiple innings. He's got to pitch on back-to-back days. There are going to be times he's going to have to do that. He needs to succeed in that role as well before I say he's fully back. But I think the most thing is just his pitching, not leaving stuff right over the middle and not falling behind in the count as much because there are way too many times he was in the 3-ball count and they just throwing it right down the middle or he's just, throwing a fastball over the plate and they're taking it the opposite field, obviously with the Marlins, the grand slam. So as long as he's avoiding that, he definitely could be a lot more effective. So I'm very happy.
Yeah. My biggest promise at the second half with Seth Lugo was he was still managing contact pretty well. And that was the thing about him is that he just needed to locate. And that was it. And we've talked about this with him before. That's just kind of fucked up in his elbow now. And that was something that, was the main concern for him. And he was leaving a lot of things over the plate and he was getting crushed. So if he can locate the curveball, if he can locate his off-speed stuff. Do I feel a little bit more confident than I did in the beginning of the year of putting this guy in a playoff game? Definitely. But you still got to keep going. He still kept the ball on the ground relatively enough in the first half of the season. And, again, luck will always go different ways. And then, like we've said, luck will always go both ways. And if his luck is good in the second half, that's all I can ask for right now. If he gets the job done in the 7th inning, if he comes in maybe in the 8th inning, maybe if he closes it out, maybe he can be that second closer that we need. If we continue to have confidence in him and he continues to pitch better. But all I can say is it's so big to have a third guy in that bullpen who can do something. We're hoping that McGill can maybe be the third guy. We're hoping that maybe McGill can be, what is it, 8th inning guy, 7th inning guy, whatever it is, and be the high leverage reliever. But we're still waiting on him. So if Lugo can step up, that would be fantastic. Again, it's so big for all these guys to step up. Like we've talked about with the offense, you've had a lot of guys in this offense this year step up. And look at them. They're winning games. I mean, it's incredible. You need your big guys to step up. Seth Lugo is one of those guys. Garrett Richards, should we talk about him for a little bit? Because there were some reports about him. McGill due back. We still don't know. But what was the timeline that was given? I saw something about mid-September or whatever. I'll try and look it up here. But Garrett Richards, Ken Rosenthal, he tweeted something out about he's now a free agent and that the Mets are a strong possibility he would reunite with his old pal Billy Epler, right? I mean, I'll take it again. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, just give me, whether it's quantity or quality, just give me arms. Give me some arms. And that's all I really need. There's arms in AAA that are like, okay, maybe we can give them a shot, but I'm not going to say, okay, this is our guaranteed setup guy in a postseason game. As much as I love Bryce Montes de Oca, he's a monster. He's a huge human being, a huge specimen. You know, he doesn't have any major league experience yet. Would I give him a chance? Sure. But like right now, you got to bring in some of these veteran arms, something. Wouldn't mind Tyler Clippard. I'm fine with that. Garrett Richards. Why not? Another guy that was talked about, that Stevenson guy from Colorado. He was just designated for assignment. Just get some of these arms. That's all I get. Just at least get one or two before the regular season ends. That's all I ask. That's all I got to ask. At the rate that we're looking at it, doesn't look like that's going to happen. We may get a Brad Hand rule where he gets signed in the middle of September and we can't use him in the postseason. Luckily, we didn't make the postseason last year, so that didn't have to happen. But all I can say is that, what is it? You got 6 days. 6 days? 5? Something like that, where you can bring in guys that can be part of your World Series or playoff roster. And all I can say is that clock is ticking and do it. Please do it, okay? As much as I love RJ Alvarez, fantastic pitcher. No, thank you. No, thank you. Rob Zastrinski, whatever. Nate Fisher's not going to pitch as well as he did when he came out for those 3 scoreless innings. Even though everyone thinks he's a hero. Okay, but other than that, just get some arms. That's it. Just stockpile them. Just get them for me. And we're going to continue to ask and continue because this bullpen does need help down the stretch of this season, especially with guys like Joely Rodriguez having meltdowns and Trevor May being Trevor May. So other than that, Brad Hand was below mid. I like Michael Givens. Again, we've talked about this so many times. Like, I think he can be fine, but like he's the guy you get. Him, he's the one. He's the number one guy you got to get. Anything else that we can put out here? Because I don't really have much written down besides that of everything I've said so far. Garrett Richards won me my fantasy league in 2012. That's cool. Nice. But other than that, Zach Wheeler going to the 15-day IL. I saw that.
Bryce back tomorrow.
Play the wheel game. I don't have that queued up. I apologize. That's not going to happen.
We're not cutting any promos on anybody.
All I can say is that, for one thing, Baty can hit the breaking ball, so it's very impressive. I'm looking at that right now. So he can hit the breaking ball. That's good. Something Marfiantos can't do, but let's not talk about that. You saw who? Again, like, yeah, Vaughn. Again, like, and you are like, who are you? Like, I don't care. Yeah, who cares at this point? I mean, I don't know if he's trash talking a rival team at this point, but like, I don't care, man. Like, who cares? We got our second baseman, Jeff McNeil. I'm always supportive of him. So, like, yeah, I don't care. Like, these little comments or whatever, they're supposed to phase us. They really don't. Show it on the field. That's all I got to say. And that's it. Frank, is there anything that you want to put out here? I'll wait for Andrew, and then we'll probably wrap this up early because DeGrom's on the mound. So I want to see DeGrom.
Yeah, I just want to see them, don't have a letdown. They finally had the much-needed off day yesterday, and it's like you have DeGrom going up against a pitcher that is not a household name, so that's usually an automatic win, right, on paper. I saw something that, the betting odds on the Mets are, really good tonight. And as we know, it's just games aren't won on paper. We've had letdowns before, so it's just please win tonight's game. Win the games you're supposed to win. The thing I found interesting we didn't talk about is I saw David Peterson is scheduled to be the starting pitcher, not Trevor Williams. I found that pretty fascinating. I've liked what Trevor's done out of the bullpen and the long relief, but I think if he's got the scoreless inning streak going on right now, Peterson's last couple starts haven't been as good as he was earlier in the year, so I would lean Trevor Williams, especially if there is no rain, you shouldn't need a long reliever for DeGrom, Bassett, Scherzer. So Trevor Williams' role would be kind of different anyway, unless they want to make him more of a high leverage guy, maybe because no one else is able to do it. It's something they could consider. But I was kind of surprised to see that. Especially so I don't think Peterson is active right now. Is he on the active roster? He's not.
Third game of the series. So Saturday is when Peterson would go. Tomorrow is Bassett, and then the final game is Scherzer. Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing with this rotation. DeGrom should have started
because
the
he's
second
not
game
even
of that
active.
Yankees game. But yeah, I don't think he's not even. I mean, he's on. Yeah, he's on the 40-man. But I don't even think he's on the 26 right now.
If they're gonna make Trevor Williams a long reliever.
Okay, so are we facing any lefties in this series? That's what I want to know.
These Colorado guys are just so garbage. I don't care, really.
Yeah, all right. They gotta destroy them. That's literally it. And we all know that it's going to be a lot less easy than we want it to be and what we expect it to be, but they got to take all 4 of these games, or at least 3 of the 4. Even that's a letdown. So we got the Dodgers coming up afterwards. Taijuan Walker. Jacob DeGrom, and then Bassett. And then Peterson is also projected to go September 2nd against Washington, which is weird. I guess they're just putting him in the rotation as of right now.
But I don't get how they could do it if he's not on the active roster.
I don't know. I think it's just a projection or just based off of the news. That's what I'm seeing on Fangraphs right now. Currently. But Timmy Trumpet to Citi Field. Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest,
I hate that they did that in a game against the Dodgers. You're that confident you're going to beat the Dodgers? I was we faced all these bums. Why don't you put them against the bum team?
Well, because we're going to blow them out, so we're not going to use Diaz. We got to put in a game where need a save situation.
True. That's what I mean.
Now watch them get.
To be honest,
nothing on that day.
It feels good that you never have to use Diaz, but who's gonna finish the game? That's the thing.
Well, again, you didn't use them the past couple of nights because they lost. That's why you didn't use them. So stop losing and we can use them again.
I want to blow everyone out. This is what I want to do. But other than that, I think we're going to end it off here. A little bit short. Almost to an hour. It's whatever. Series predictions, we'll all 4-game sweep. Anything else is a letdown. That's literally all.
3 out of 4 because this is Major League Baseball. 3 out of 3.
No.
Kyle Freeland, left line out. Fuck. So 3 out of 3.
There's your lefty.
No. Anything less than a sweep is pretty much a letdown because Colorado's brutal.
Especially on the road. They're much worse on the road too. So, I mean, come on. This is in our wheelhouse now. We're going to be home for a while.
I'll let these guys final statements. Frank, I'll let you go. I want to look up what the Rockies actually are on the road because I'm pretty sure they're pretty bad.
The final statements is that I'm really looking for a big series here. Like you said, I would just be very disappointed. Honestly, that's a sweep. It comes to a point now where when the division is as close as it is, and you know that the Braves are just going to keep winning, like there's very little room for error. I want to stay in first place, so especially with the Dodgers right after that, So you know that you have to do well in this series because the very next series you could easily find yourself out of first place because I think the Braves faced the Oakland A's or something after their series with the Cardinals, or just like I was looking at the Braves schedule. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, Mets have such easy schedule. Mets have such easy schedule." The Braves schedule is not that difficult either in September. Like it's not that bad. So
Keep pace.
I mean, again, like Andrew said, not every game is won on paper. So everyone's like, "Oh, don't worry, we have the easy schedule." It's like, okay, well, just make sure you take care of it because it's not simulated. If we were just simulating it, all right, fine, we're good. We won the division, but there's still things that need to happen. A lot of things need to go right. So I'm just really hoping that that's the case.
All right. Well, the Rockies are 18-39 on the road this year.
There you go.
Interesting. Okay. Andrew, last words. Man of very few words tonight.
Yeah, it's tough on the way through. Bad ribs, so hurting pretty much. But yeah, I'll be in Kansas City the next 2 days, and then Sunday I will probably start a new series on the channel, not sports or baseball related. So maybe get that out starting this weekend. But again, minimum take 3 out of 4. You should sweep, but take 3 out of 4. Hopefully the Cardinals can take care of the Braves for us. Take 2 out of the other Braves, even though Arenado, has to be a wanker and his wife has to get first.
I was wrong. The Braves have the Rockies at home after their series with the Cardinals. So
okay, nice.
Yeah, again, that's why we got to beat up the Rockies.
Okay, so again, I'll buy you to the Trop. I don't know if I go to the Trop. The All-Star game goes, maybe it's a dump. But I need to hit it for the checklist. So if the All-Star game ever goes to that dump, I'll probably be down.
I've been to Tampa, their stadium. Ugh.
They have a Ray tank. I want to touch a Stingray. They have it at Atlanta.
The Rays are dick. Those Stingrays are dicks.
Okay, PETA.
But that's the absolute opposite of PETA. But go ahead. What else you got to say?
Again, yeah, just take 3 out of 4 at minimum. Go for the sweep if possible. Pretty much it. And no, that's about it.
All right. Brett Baty's home debut tonight. And Jacob Degrom takes the mound. That's what actually matters. Screw the rookie. But other than that, that's all we got for tonight. Coming up for this next 4 days, 4-game series against Colorado. Like we've said, anything less than a sweep is a disappointment. 3 out of 4 is whatever. But other than that, let's go Mets. Tight race in the division, coming down to the wire. We're going to keep biting our nails because that's what we do. So other than that, we'll see you guys next time. All the links are in the description for all of us. You guys know the drill by now. EmpireSportsMedia.com for all the New York sports, not just baseball. So we'll see you guys next time. And LFGM.